Hello, good evening to you and welcome to the final news bulletin for the day with me, Natalie Fort. First, let's take a look at the news highlights for tonight. Family members of 6 people who perished through floodwaters at Adeja in the Busumtray district are yet to come to terms with the loss. But some residents have blamed the incident on a weak bridge, which is yet to be fixed by city authorities, despite several complaints. Anti-corruption crusader Vitus Azim has chided Parliament for opening an investigation into the collapse of the 7 indigenous banks. Vitus Azim is of the view the investigation should have been left to the Economic and Organized Crime Office, YOCO. He insisted it is a duplication of efforts and a waste of resources. The Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition wants the Akufo-Addo-led government to scale up efforts at fulfilling its promise of enacting the Fiscal Responsibility Law, which will further pave the way for establishment of the Fiscal Council. This, the coalition argues, will help to check government spending, especially during election years, as well as curb corruption. Ghana's poverty rate is 23.4%, which represents 6.8 million of the country's population in 2017. These people are not able to spend 4 cedis 82 pesos per day on food. The Kotoka International Airport Terminal 3 is to begin full operation on September 15 after successfully hosting its first arrival Friday, September 7. Director of Ghana Airport Company John Atefwa, who disclosed this during a familiarization tour of the facility by the new aviation minister Joseph Kofi Adda, said every aspect of the terminal is ready for takeoff. Starting off this evening, family members of 6 people who perished through floodwaters at Adeja in the Busumtray district are yet to come to terms with the loss. But some residents have blamed the incident on a weak bridge, which is yet to be fixed by city authorities, despite several complaints. Here's reports by Beatrice Fio-Gabra.
The Jehovah's Witness family of 6 drowned in floodwaters when their private saloon car was swept away into a river at Adeja. The deceased include 52-year-old father Kofi Reku, his wife Mercy Reku, a son who has just gained admission to Prempeh College, and 3 other family members yet to be identified. They were returning home after taking part in the construction of a Kingdom Hall at Adeja on Thursday. Following a downpour, the river Ankonim overflowed its banks, submerging a bridge on the road. The swift-flowing flood waters swept the vehicle off the bridge. All 6 were trapped in the submerged vehicle. Some volunteers managed to retrieve the bodies after rituals were performed early Friday. Sorrow engulfed a family house at Adeja, where Mercy Reku joined in cooking for workers constructing the Kingdom Hall. A surviving daughter was inconsolable. A family member who spoke to TV3 narrated how the news was received.
Mercy Rekum is my daughter. She was here with us cooking for the construction workers, but left in the evening when it was raining to join her husband.
A volunteer rescuer, Kwabenedu, told TV3 News he and other volunteers were able to retrieve 4 bodies after performing customary rites by pouring libation.
The linguists and elders of Adeja poured libation before we retrieved the bodies. We then carried them from the flood waters.
Meanwhile, Chairman of the Adeja Drivers Association, Samuel Broni Dakun, has reiterated calls for urgent steps to repair bad roads and the bridge at Adeja. He disclosed that some persons have lost their lives over the years while trying to cross the bridge after having downpour.
Now, 2 persons are reported dead after they drowned in a river at Jansa at Sinisi, a farming community in the Boza North District. The Jansa River takes its source from the Black Volta. Now, these deaths are as a result of the Bagley Dam spillage, which runs directly into the Black Volta. The sad incident occurred yesterday at about 2 p.m. Search and rescue is underway. So far, 1 body has been retrieved. Victim's identity is yet to be known. This incident brings the total number of deaths in the region to 3. Now, it will be recalled that 1 death was reported in the Wale district of the northern region. A total of 1,000 people have been displaced. Their houses have either been inundated or collapsed by the flood. Currently, most victims are staying in nearby schools. Let's stay on this issue a little further as I'm joined on the phone lines by Joseph Teti, the Deputy Director of Forecasting at the Ghana Meteorological Agency. Good evening, sir. Thanks for speaking with us this evening.
Yeah, good evening for having me, and good evening for your listeners too.
Now tell us, is it a normal situation that at this time of the year we'll be having flooding of this sort in the Ashanti region?
Yes, it is normal because, when you look at in Ghana, we have 2 major rainy seasons for the south and the middle belt. The northern part of the country have only 1 rainy season, which spans over 4 to 6 months. Currently, the middle and the southern sectors are getting into their minor rainy season. For the northern part of the country, they are in their major rainy season. So whatever is happening over the middle belt and the transitional zones is normal.
It's a normal occurrence, you're saying. So going into the weekend, what does the forecast look like?
Very well. We are expecting more rains over the northern part of the country and the middle belt. When I talk about the transitional zone, it's just about 50 to 100 kilometers south of the northern region. We call it transitional zone. And then from there, you come to the middle belt. So once you are getting to the minor rainy season, we should expect more rains for the middle belt and the transitional zone. However, the northern sectors will also be in the rainy season, especially getting to the weekend. The northern part of the country will get out of whatever they are experiencing now after September, mid-October, then they will get out of the rainy season. But we in the coastal areas and in the middle belt, we will be in the minor rainy season until October ending.
Now, Joseph, these rains cause lethal loss of lives and destruction of property. How closely does your outfit work and collaborate with NADMO?
Yes, we'll be working with NADMO. When you look at yesterday's rain and today's rain, we issue a weather warning. We issue, but what we are doing now, there's a study that we are doing to be able to get what we call a flood-prone area or flood alert. And we are working seriously on it. But NADMO knows the flood-prone areas. We zone all those areas, and we are hoping that they should be able to educate people on those areas and then, if possible, evacuate quickly.
You say you're working
However,
together?
With the northern part of the country, I think the problem is compounded by the opening of the Bagre Dam. Because it's raining over the Sahel region very, very, very seriously. And that is creating a problem for the Bagre Dam, and they've opened it. And unfortunately for us, once the Bagre Dam is open and it's also raining over the northern part of the country, definitely there will be a lot of floods. Then for the middle belt, as you said, what happened yesterday, yes, it was a system that passed. And we are also expecting that that system is ushering in into the minor rainy season.
Joseph Teti, thanks for your time this evening. That's the Deputy Director of Forecasting at the Ghana Meteorological Agency. We'll bring you more news at 10 shortly. Stay with us. Welcome back to News at 10. Now, the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, PAC, has asked for a forensic audit into some $9.83 million allegedly lost as a result of underpricing of crude by the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation. Reacting to a letter written by the Finance Ministry to the GNPC to explain the circumstances under which Ghana is said to have lost some funds, Chairman of the Commission, Dr. Steve Mantiao, said a mere directive for explanation would yield no results.
Dr. Mantiao believes a mere directive by the Finance Minister, Ken Oforiatta, for the GNPC to explain why it sold crude oil from 10 fields at a lower rate is not enough to address these anomalies. In a July 2018 letter, Ken Oforiatta said they allowed the off-takers to choose the lowest possible price for the product when it could have insisted on the highest possible price within the pricing window. The state would have gained a total of $34.12 million more, the Finance Ministry observed. While urging the GNPC to treat the matter with urgency, the Finance Minister tasked GNPC to take steps to amend the contract with off-takers for lifting of the 10 crude oil, to take advantage of the high prices and also take steps to ensure that the SGN and all other fields do not suffer consistent revenue losses due to the GNPC's favored pricing options. The GNPC was recently in the news for a different controversy where its chief executive, Dr. KK Sapon, was accused of ordering an urgent transfer of $7.5 million to a company he once worked for in 2017. The amount was for payment of a 6-block residential apartment purchased from Global Haulage Company Limited, where KK Sapon was previously the CEO.
I'm joined on the phone lines by Kujo PACU. He's an energy expert to further probe this issue. Hello, Kujo. Good evening, and thanks for speaking with us.
Hi, good evening, and good evening to your viewers.
Now, first of all, for the sake of our viewers, could you explain briefly how exactly crude oil is sold on the international market?
Well, normally crude oil is sold by the international benchmark, which is the price traded on the world market. Brent and all the other light crude has their prices. This is determined on the day-to-day basis by traders. Now, from what we are being told, and it's GNPC's explanation, is that when they are selling the crude to the people who buy the crude from them, because every day there's a fluctuation in the price, they use a window, which is maybe they give themselves like a week or 5 days or 6 trading days, and they use those prices within that window for the lifting company to basically choose or negotiate. Technically, giving a discount in crude purchase is not a problem because normally the margins are negotiated. Okay. Most benchmark prices are not always the spot price that everybody buys at. Sometimes they might be where like you hear that somebody will say it is +3 or -4. That is the +3 will be the margin at which the negotiation means that the person gets a discount or gets to pay premium.
Now, Kujo, the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, PAC, is calling for a forensic audit to be conducted into this particular issue. Do you share in this view or not?
Yes, I do. I think that we are selling our crude oil somebody buying the crude oil, we should negotiate to get the maximum benefit for our crude oil. Now, if the explanation being given to GNPC is that we are giving the company a discount because of the relationship we have with the company, I would want to add my voice to the forensic audit, because I think that audit will tell us a lot more than we don't know. And secondly, that relationship with Mr. Dazi, who handles the crude sales at GNPC and has been on the radio, is saying that because there is a special relationship between the GNPC and that company, that is why they allow them to buy the crude at a much discounted price. We want to know what that relationship is. What is the relationship between GNPC and this company that our crude is being sold to them at that price?
Now, on the other hand, GNPC, however, has defended its transactions with the ministry, saying that the cost of $34 million in oil revenue is as a result of underpricing by oil products by the corporation. Does that clear your view in any sense?
No, it does not. It does not at all. Like I said, I would like to know, because I've heard in certain quarters that there are other transactions that GNPC is doing with the other company, and that 34 million that is being talked of, if you look at the holistic view of the work that GNPC is doing with that company, is a savings to Ghana. Look, Tema Oil Refinery is shut because we don't have money to procure crude for them. If we can afford to let somebody get a discount of 34 million, why can't we give the money to Tema Oil Refinery to work? So I think that every penny in this country counts. If we have a refinery that's been shut because of $60 million, we can't afford to give away $34 million.
Kujo PACU, grateful for your time this evening. Thank you. That's energy expert Kujo PACU sharing his view on that matter. Let's turn to some other issues here on News at 10, as the Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition wants the Akufo-Addo-led government to scale up efforts at fulfilling its promise of enacting the Fiscal Responsibility Law, which will further pave the way for the establishment of the Fiscal Council. This, the coalition argues, will help to check government spending, especially during election years, as well as curb corruption.
The new patriotic party NPP, while in opposition, made several promises in its 2016 manifesto, and upon coming to office in January 2017, the Akufo-Addo-led government repeated most of these promises and assured Ghanaians of its commitment to execute them. At a stakeholder forum in Accra, the Ghana Anti-Corruption Coalition GACC presented a brief on a project to identify the key commitment and policy propositions of the NPP on fiscal transparency and accountability, and also assess its feasibility. Speakers and participants alike expressed concern about several promises made by the NPP in its 2016 manifesto, which have neither been delivered nor touched at all, though some have been delivered. Dr. Franklin Odro is the head of research and programs at the CDD.
If you come to the issue of setting up the Fiscal Stability Council, we haven't seen any action on that. There is no law, there is no bill in Parliament. We haven't even heard any discussion on the part of the government as to when do we expect this to come. And this is very worrying because, as we know, one of the major concerns with our fiscal issues in Ghana is the tendency to overspend during election year.
Executive Secretary of the GACC, Beauty Emefa Nate, said efforts at amending the Public Officers Disqualification and Assets Declaration Act 1998, Act 550, was unsatisfactory.
If you want to fight corruption and if you want to impact on fiscal transparency and accountability, then the key legislation should have been passed would have been the Conduct of Public Officers Bill, so that we have a baseline of how public office holders are coming into office, and then when they are going, we can also know that are they taking advantage of the system to amass wealth for themselves before they go.
Anti-corruption crusader and consultant for the project, Vitus Azim, said government is yet to prove its commitment to the fight against corruption.
They haven't done it yet. Just like the ANAS investigation. No single person has been arrested under the ANAS investigation. So when you ask whether we are succeeding in the fight against corruption or whether government has done well, you yourself, you see the answers. This announced investigation, nobody has been arrested. Why?
The NPP government promised to amend relevant sections of the Criminal Offences Act 1960, Act 29, to make corruption a felony, but no bill has been laid before Parliament.
Some other news this evening. The Ghana Institution of Engineering has cautioned staff and managers of the electricity company to stop seeking sexual favors from female staff. Its executive director, Kwabena Ejepong, said those arrested could have their licenses revoked or dismissed from the Institution of Engineering. He gave the warning at the launch of the Women in Engineering chapter of the Electricity Company of Ghana in Accra.
The institution was upset about the numerous complaints from staff of ECG and other engineering professions on sexual abuse. It alluded that its investigation suggests some senior managers seek sexual favors before signing promotion letters for the women. The executive director of the institution, Engineer Kwabena Ejepong, implored those affected women to hurriedly report to the institution.
Too many women undergo sexual harassment in their workplaces, and nobody wants to talk about it. I want to encourage you to name and shame your bosses who try to seek sexual favors from you for promotions. It's something that the institution frowns upon, and will be prepared to back you, whether through legal means, whatever, to ensure that the right things are done in this country.
He was again disturbed about the existence of quack engineers who have no certification to operate. Engineer Kwabena Ejepong emphasized they will play an intensified monitoring role in the coming months to deal with the culprits.
Too many reports have come to the institution of engineers, especially my colleagues in the civil engineering parts, where you see them putting their stamps on electrical drawings, and some putting their stamps on geotechnical, drawings. So if you're a structural engineer, be a structural engineer. If you're a sanitation engineer, restrict yourself to that.
The Women in Engineering WINE is targeted at encouraging more women to join the engineering profession. It is to promote sound and conducive working environment among women and senior staff of the ECG. Managing Director of ECG, Engineer Samuel Wachiapia, called for stronger collaboration with other agencies for smooth power distribution.
I wish to encourage you to discharge your duties with a high sense of commitment, deep dedication to duty, and exhibiting professionalism as demanded by your own statutes, and practicing highest ethical values as part of your daily life.
Other speakers at the ceremony underscored the need to roll out new regulations to streamline the engineering profession in the country.
And that's how we draw the curtains on News at 10 this evening from our studios here at Adesawe, Kanda. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Natalie Fort. Visit our website 3news.com for some more news. Have a pleasant evening.